Hi everyone, and welcome to our Student Life Clearing Q&A. And thank you for joining us. My name's Conor Naughton, and I'm elected president here at Nottingham Trent Student Union, and I'll be your host for today. I'll be joined by three NTU students to talk to you about student life at NTU and answer your questions. The clearing is open, and it's an opportunity for you to apply for university courses after you've received your exam results. If you haven't already applied for UCAS, to find out more, please visit our website, ntu.ac.uk/clearing, or you can call us, and that's 01115 848 6000, and that'll be appearing across the bottom of the screen throughout tonight's event, so keep an eye on that. If you've got any questions throughout this afternoon's event, please let us know in the comments and we'll read them out as and when. We'll go to our students, they'll ask some questions, and then we'll come to any questions you've got throughout the evening. So please let us know in the comments. So I'll introduce our guests now. So as I say, we're joined by three amazing NTU students. We're going to find out a little bit more about themselves and what they love about NTU. So first up, we have Noor.
Hi everyone, my name is Noor Abu-Wakab. I study law, but I have just graduated. And I must say, one thing I do really love about NTU is the diversity of cultures, backgrounds, nationalities, and people.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Noor. Up next, we have Shivam.
Hi guys, my name is Shivam. I'm a BA Business Management and Economics student. I also just graduated from university. And I must say, one thing I really like about NTU is the fact that the access to student services is really good, especially in this COVID period.
Amazing, thank you very much. And finally, Katia.
Hi, I'm Katia. I studied BSc Games Production and have also just graduated. And I would say something I really love about NTU is the sheer number of opportunities you get and the diversity of them all, the range of them.
Amazing. Thanks, Katia, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So we'll talk a little bit first about clearing and how all of the students on the call today joined and applied to NTU. So Noor, first of all, what was your experience like applying through clearing? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
There was a lot of tears, which would be understandable on the day. But for me, I called the NTU clearing line, which you just mentioned. And a very lovely lady on the other end of the line just walked me through what course I was interested in. She asked me what the qualifications that I had were, what grades I got in them, and if they matched the UCAS points that were on for the clearing course. And after that, she just took my details, and I successfully and thankfully got onto the law course with NTU through clearing, and it was very easy. She sent the email and I was able to add it to my UCAS track and accept it.
Amazing, sounds great. Shivan, how about you?
Mine was a pretty simple process, actually. I was already meant to be going to NTU, but in the last minute, I decided that I wanted to change my course. So it was a very simple process of just calling up the clearing line. They let me know that there was a space available on the alternate course that I wanted to do. And yeah, I called them back. I said I wanted to do it, and that was it.
Amazing. And Katia?
So I actually switched over from another course, and I'd been debating for several months if I want to switch because I wasn't happy with my old one. Just on the actual clearing, so I could have done it before the actual clearing day, but on the morning when I decided I wasn't going to switch, I sat in a beauty salon actually and had a eureka moment of I desperately want to do games at NTU. It just suddenly clicked. So I was stuck there for a while. As soon as I got home, I called up NTU really nervous. Am I too late? It's been several hours. And after telling them my qualifications and that I wanted to switch, I got offered a place on that very same phone call.
Amazing. And for anyone who's watching today who's considering clearing, do any of you have any top tips for what you would kind of wish you'd known at the time around maybe preparing, what you wanted to look for, having a list in advance? Are there any top tips you'd give students who are considering applying through clearing?
I would say definitely have in mind that you might need to be flexible. Some universities, and NTU might be one of them, whereby you might be interested in a particular course, but that might be not be available in clearing, or you might not have the necessary UCAS points for it. So sometimes just anticipating that level of flexibility will just help ease the day a little bit more.
Amazing. Any other top tips from anyone? Cool. Katia?
I would say that before you actually head into clearing, make sure you've had a proper look at the courses, even before you get your grades and the like. You might get your first choice, or maybe you're already considering switching. If you go into the clearing day already having an idea of what course you're looking at and just see if you can match up the grades, you'll just be a lot more confident on the day, I'd hope. Just go in and know what you're doing. And if you don't worry, the people on the phone are really friendly, so they'll guide you through it.
Amazing. Thanks, Katia. Cool. So we'll move on to talk a little about student experience now. So it's a massive part of university life for any student, but I think personally, as someone who studied at NTU myself, it was a really, really instrumental part of my experience, whether that be societies, volunteering locally, internationally, going out, trying different bars, food places. It's a really, really key part of what makes Nottingham such a great city to come and study at. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And if you're watching along today and you've got any questions about student life at NTU, you can submit them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them shortly. So, Noor, what was your student experience like as a student here at NTU?
It was a bit short-lived, which I'm very upset about, but because of Corona, understandably, a lot of changes had to be made. I did thankfully have my first year and half of my second year, and honestly, they were great. I really enjoyed them. I'm very happy that I had them. Of course, first year, it's all about the nights out, it's the meeting new people, making new friends, and really just getting to know your course, the city you're in, the university you're at, and what you're about to embark on, and really just sitting with that and, being enthusiastic for it. Other than that, I am graduating with the two very first people I met at university, which I'm very, very happy about. It's very bittersweet, but that's what university is all about. My second year is when I really immersed myself in the student experience. I got involved in plenty of opportunities. I was general secretary with the Arab Society. I got involved as a volunteer with the Legal Advice Centre here at NTU. I took part in our Global Week event, and I was part of the mentorship program that employability team holds. And I was mentored by a wonderful barrister. And I myself was able to take part in mentoring of first year law students. But other than that, Nottingham as a city, I adore, because not only is there so many small businesses that you can just go into, get new experiences, rather than, your usual McDonald's or usual Topshop or what have you. So it was very unique experience in that Nottingham is so rich that you can just get so much done and have so many new experiences, and you would never get bored.
Amazing. Thank you very much. To definitely attest to that. In terms of student employment, there's loads of great things you can get involved with. As a student myself, I was a student ambassador, so working open days, and I'm sure some of the people on this call have been involved in things like that. You get to work on some great things and outreach work. So I worked in local schools doing students in classrooms, helping teach students. There's mentoring, helping to support and guide first year students. There's loads and loads of student jobs within the university and the student union, working in entertainment, in welcome assistance in our shop. There's so many different opportunities, and then not to even mention all the opportunities that the city of Nottingham provides with bars, shops, and various other different things. That's brilliant. Shivam, would you like to talk a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, following on with just Nottingham as a city, I mean, it's quite an affordable city, which is something I found out when I came here. Yeah, like I said, there's many experiences, many different shops, many different venues that you can go to. My first year was, like Noor said, I was partying, I was having fun, doing my course as well. Second year, I took part more in different university projects. I was part of the Global Lounge Smart City project, where essentially it was this university-funded trip across Europe, and we had a research project. What we were doing, I think, if I remember correctly, ours was something to do with increasing productivity through Wi-Fi hotspots. So, like I said, there was a lot more opportunities. In third year, I was in placement down in London, but I was still a NTU student, even though I wasn't in the city itself. I still had regular contact with university faculty, and even sometimes I was coming up to Nottingham, seeing friends. I was still part of the NTU experience.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Katia?
So I'm a bit different in that I actually came from Nottingham. So obviously I came in thinking, oh, how much of my life's really going to change beyond going to lectures? And actually, NTU offers you so much that I got fully engrossed in the student experience, despite already being from the city and thinking I'm somewhere familiar. But it's plenty welcoming, and I got involved in lots of different opportunities. I was in 3 music ensembles and having lessons through the university as well through a scholarship. So yeah, apply to those if you're a musician. Um, I also got involved in helping give the student voice out. Sorry, that was really badly worded, but I was 3 years an academic rep, and in my final year, I was a school officer working with Conor and the rest of the exec team in my role as confetti school officer, which I'm sure he'll be talking about the union more later on. I also did several jobs through the university. I was a student ambassador. I was a student mentor in my second year, which meant I was essentially helping the first years get settled in, whilst also on my course, we would go into the sessions and help them. So I was sort of tutoring a few of them in programming alongside their lectures, because it was a new skill for a lot of them actually, and it was really rewarding because I'd been in that position the year prior. I've also been talking to the employability team about what I'm going to do next, about setting up a video game studio or whether I want to apply to a company. And they've been really helpful with that and still provide like CV and portfolio support after that. So yeah, there's essentially lots to do. And speaking as a Nottingham local, but also student here, you'll find plenty in the city. I before COVID, I used to go to the Dice Cup a lot, a board game cafe where you could book your own. Bring your own games like Dungeons and Dragons, or borrow games from there, whilst also having lots of nice vegan food and drink. So it's appropriate for everyone. We have markets in town occasionally. It's just a really nice atmosphere and really student friendly.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Katia. And on that note, talking about some of the kind of things that Nottingham offers with food and drink and amazing memories, I'm just going to go around everyone. If you could just tell me a little bit about maybe your favourite place to go for a drink or food in Nottingham, and then maybe one of your favourite university memories thinking back to your 3 or 4 years as a student. So Nora, I'll go back to you first.
Food or drink, the first thing that popped into mind was Fox's. I don't know if you guys have been, but Fox's I just love it. It's so, even the way they make things that you would originally think are so basic, they make it so nice and tasteful, and they do it in such a nice presentation. I love going there to just work and get some things done and have some food or coffee. In terms of memories, the one thing I love about Nottingham that I just love doing is going into Market Square and sitting there. And this might seem weird, but just the way the pigeons fly over you, you might think you're in Turkey, but just on a budget. So it's just nice to just sit there. It's especially when it's quiet on like late nights and in the summer. I love sitting there and just, you know, quietening down. If it's been a busy week or if it's been a busy day, I just love sitting there and just unloading. So that's my favorite memory.
Amazing. Yeah, Fox, that's amazing. And Market Square as well, very, very good place to people watch. No matter what time of day it is, you'll see all sorts of bright and colourful characters. Cool. Shivam, would you like to go next?
My favourite spot, I mean, there's a lot really, but one that was like a thing for us every like weekend when we'd all come back from home would be Zap Thai. For some reason, I had a lot of international student friends, so for them, that kind of food just really made them feel like at home. So usually every Sunday we'd go there, or, you know, just catch up on everything we'd missed. In terms of favorite memory, like I said before, that NTU Smart City project that I did, you know, funded by the university, it really got me into the idea of traveling and realizing that like this continent, it's all so close together, and really all it takes is like a 2-hour flight and then you're on the other side in another country. It's actually a really eye-opening experience.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And Katia?
I would say my favorite place to eat or drink would be, I have to say, Sushi Mania, because as a student, I spent way too much money there. Half price, 12 till 3 or after 10 p.m. after having a few drinks. And I may have introduced roughly 15 students to the place over that time. So I can't not say it. It's really good. Go to Sushi Mania. It's cheap raw fish. Yeah. So I would say one of my favorite experiences or memories from NTU is not sushi related. But I forgot to mention that when I was doing NTU music with the chamber choir, we had the opportunity to go to China on tour in my first year. And it's so different. It was my first time ever going to Asia, such a huge trip, and it was gorgeous just touring around and singing in 3 different cities, and I would never have been able to do that without the university. Did I answer the correct question?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
definitely, Kathy. I think you've touched on there, and I think everyone else has as well, that a lot of the opportunities the university give you are fantastic. So for myself, a student from a low socioeconomic background, I was able as a student to go to Fiji volunteering twice, so obviously doing international volunteering, something I never dreamed of doing before coming to university, something I wouldn't have been able to afford. And I know countless other students, kind of, you've all touched on experiences there, whether it be employability projects, whether it be working in kind of different departments. So the support the university give you in doing that is fantastic. And whether it be kind of purely focused on employability or that more rounded student experience of things like working in local schools, helping give back to the local community, there really is such a diverse range of opportunities there. And then, of course, there is kind of the classic student experience of the nightlife, the bars, the food, and the meeting people. So there really is something for everyone. So it's great to hear all about your student experience firsthand. So we'll now move to some questions that people have submitted on Instagram and social media in the days leading up to this event. So I believe they're going to appear on the screen. And the first one is, what's it like being a student in Nottingham? So Nora, I'll go to you first.
I might be biased, but so originally I'm Birmingham, and Birmingham as is a very vibrant city. It's also a great student city. But for me, Nottingham, honestly, affordability wise, things to do, events that are put on, restaurants, small businesses, tours, opportunities, all of that. I think it's such a great student city, and I will keep saying that for as long as possible because I truly believe it. Being a student in Nottingham, especially depending on the campus you're in the city itself. It's just a 5-minute walk away from you if you're in the city campus. You're being immersed in the shops, you're being immersed in what you'd like to do next, whether it be with your friends or alone, going to parks, going to shops, going to bars, whatever you think you want to do or interested in doing. It doesn't even have to be food or drink. If you're interested in art, if you're interested in music, there's something always on. And I genuinely really enjoy that because it's not boring being here, if that's one way to put it. It's not boring. There's always something to do. Even with Corona, we've kind of come out of that now, but there's still things on in the safest way possible, whether that be through the university event or through the city events itself. So I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a great student city.
Yeah, I definitely support that. I think one thing about Nottingham that a lot of people always comment when they come and visit is how quickly you can get from one point to another. So if you're in the Lace Market, it's kind of the student union building or wherever it may be. And I think the city as a whole and the university and the union have really responded well to coronavirus in terms of adapting, where they've been able to offer seated events and getting people in outdoor spaces has been fantastic. Shivam, is there anything you'd like to talk about around what it's like being a student in Nottingham?
Yeah, like I said, Nottingham is one of those cities that was, because it's so pedestrianized, outdoor seating was like readily available in most of the city. In other things, my background, I come from like a small town down south. So for me, I always wanted that sort of city experience. And I remember my first day coming to the opening day, I was like, wow, this place is like so big. It's like there's so much. But then once I actually spent time there, you realize that it's actually a very compact city. But the good thing is that everything is really close together and you can, get from one place to another very quickly. Yeah, like I said, a lot of things to do in Nottingham, and the affordability is quite nice. There's a lot of housing opportunities for you to get to.
Amazing. And Katya, anything you'd like to add?
I'd say like NTU itself, there's always opportunities. There's always a lot of things to do, both as a student and otherwise. It's a very nice place to live in because as Nora was saying, there's something for everyone. As Shivam was saying, plenty of stuff in the city centre. You can also find lots of opportunities to do things like not related to your studies, and maybe even not just casual going to coffee shops and stuff. The other day, it was being advertised by a group in the university, but there's an event going on in Nottingham where they're having writers between 14 and 25 contributing to making LGBT comics, which is quite nice. And I see opportunities like that in Nottingham all the time, which you could easily do alongside your studies if you chose to. So I'd say it's a city of opportunities and a city basically to enjoy yourself. And there's a strong sense of community in the student population. I remember just walking towards the library for the first time since we got shut down in January because of COVID. And it just how relaxed and at home I'd felt just walking down. I'd grabbed a takeaway coffee on the way. And it was quite lovely. It's a strong sense of belonging, I feel.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Katya. So the next question is, what do I do on A-level results day? So with this one, I'll open the floor up, and if anyone wants to jump in and say a little bit, go ahead.
With results day, I think it's just, for me personally, I open my UCAS at home. So I knew straight away that I didn't get my firm, and my insurance hadn't come through yet. So I thought, let me just go into school, let me just find out what my results are and go from there. So A-level results day, I think, is mainly about knowing that you're not on this alone. You can go into your school, do speak to your teachers, do speak to whoever supporting staff there is there, because they'll really get you through it. And if none of you are sure, if your family isn't sure, if the staff aren't sure, the universities know. So do call them up, do make sure you're checking if you've got the right things, if you've got the right things in order, if your UCAS is all right. So you have a lot available to you to be able to contact and to just get to know what you need to do next. So for me, when I was sat at school, our head of sixth form, she came and sat with me. She told me, this is what we're going to need to do next. I called up the universities that I wanted to call up, and it kind of just went from there. I'm here now, graduated. So it's basically just about really making use of what is available to you. And even when you think there isn't anything available to you, the universities are there for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think to attest to that, obviously, we've mentioned it a few times, it's been coming up on the screen, but if people do have any questions, particularly for NTU around clearing, obviously it's ntu.ac.uk/clearing, or you can ring the number, which is 01115 848 6000 for any questions. So in terms of A-level results day, is there anything that anyone else would like to add?
I'd definitely say that I'm a very planning kind of guy. You have to go into this with a plan of, either I'm going to get the course and the university that I want, or I'm not. And, if you do, then that's brilliant. It's already set out for you. Well done. But if you haven't, you need to have an idea of, already know this is where, the potential opportunities are. This is where I should go. Because in the stress and, whether it's happiness or sadness or, excitement in the moment, like, you can really get quite confused. I think the important part is having a plan and being realistic with your expectations on the day, so you know exactly what you need to do as soon as you look at your results.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Katya, is there anything from yourself?
I would say in that regard, definitely have a plan. But if at all you're thinking about, oh, is this really right for me? If you're getting any cold feet, I'd say think about it before you go into clearing, because as I was saying earlier, you kind of want to go into clearing knowing what you want to do, but also having that backup plan. You might not get your firm offer. Let's be realistic, and it's been a really hard year. I mean, COVID. I don't think I need to explain any further. But yeah, if you're feeling really confident about what you want to do, if you've made the right choice in course, just have your backup plan, as Shivam was saying. If you're having any doubts at all, I'd say before you get to that date, like from now, start assessing. Am I just having almost like not buyer's remorse, sort of the equivalent? Am I just nervous? Or think about, is this actually right for me? And decide what you want to do on clearing, because you can always change course on the day if you need to. Just know what you want to do.
Brilliant. Thanks, Katya. So our next question is, what happens when we arrive in Nottingham? So I'll say a little bit from my point of view as student union president, and then I'm sure the other students on the call have some experience to share of their own. So in terms of when you move in, there's loads of support from the minute you arrive. So whether that's induction sessions on your course, there's student cert mentors, so you'll see when they're blue tops of cert mentor, who will be second, third, fourth year students, so there to guide and support you. As a student union, we have our freshers team, so they'll be in bright coloured tops, so that'll be pink, blue, whatever the colour is each year, with freshers team on. They'll help move you in. So whatever accommodation you're in, they'll help lift some luggage in, get to know your parents, just put you at ease, give you that kind of peace of mind that you need when you first move in. And then they'll make sure if you go on any nighttime activities, they'll take you there. They can take you on small and friendly walks around the city and the different campuses. And as I say, on your course, there'll be loads of induction sessions. There's loads of student ambassadors around in pink tops that are there to help you, answer any questions. There's so much to get involved with, both in the daytime and the nighttime. And I think it's a well kind of regarded fact, and something anyone who comes to NTU always kind of says, is when it comes to Freshers Week and Welcome Week, that NTU and NTSU do it better than anyone else across the UK. So really, so much to look forward to. There's support across the board from the moment you get out of your car and move into your accommodation, to your induction sessions, or even if you need help in the evenings, getting home from nights out, whatever it may be. So with that, I'll pause and I'll open the floor up to our students and see if they've got any experiences of what happens when you arrive in Nottingham from their own personal time as students.
I feel like mine was a blur. I feel like I got everything done in that first day. I think because we get the meningitis shots, if you want to, you get the meningitis shot, and I got that on the day. I got my student card done on the day. I moved into my accommodation. So many people have different move-in days. Some people have different processes they do things in. I know one of my bestest friends that I've met here, she actually is from Nottingham. So she moved in one day and got everything else done on a different day. So it's different for different people, but bottom line is you all will get an insight into what the city you're in is, what the university is like. You can go on a walk with your parents around the city, around your campus, around your accommodation. But the biggest thing is when your parents leave or whoever's dropping you off leaves, and it's just you and yourself, and having that moment where it's like, oh gosh, I have to interact, I have to make friends now. And as daunting as that seems, the moment one person meets another, whether that be an accommodation or seminar group, you're good to go. It kind of just flows on from there. And for me personally, I was convinced I wouldn't get the freshers flu, but I got the freshers flu, so that wasn't great. But other than that, it was fantastic.
Amazing. Thanks, Noor. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd definitely say it seems like we were both pretty organized and like on it, really eager to get everything. And like I said, the university pretty much organizes it all for you. In terms of like important stuff that you really need to get done, the university will generally, send out emails or like information pamphlets for everything that you need to do. Same here. I tried to move in as soon as, I was able to. I got my shot, I got my student ID. I pretty much got it all sorted out on the day. And then, then it was literally just trying to talk to people in my accommodation and try and make friends. That was it.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I definitely recommend, as both of you have said, making sure if you can plan in advance. There's the Welcome Week website. You'll be sent loads of information in advance with what's going on, and just have it all planned out as much as you can, but also be relaxed about the fact that it may change kind of on a whim. So you'll meet new people. You go, right, I'm going to go to these events. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then you might meet someone, as everyone said, and they'll go, actually, we're going here tonight. And you go, right, brilliant, we'll do that. So kind of have a plan, but also be flexible with the fact that that may change last minute, and enjoy the spontaneity that comes with that. Katja, is there anything from yourself?
Despite being from Nottingham, I found the Welcome Week very helpful because I sometimes struggle to interact with new people. But I found I started talking to people pretty much on the first event, the one planned by my course, and I believe most courses do that. We also had our cert mentors helping out, and yeah, it's a way to meet your tutors, but it's also a first attempt at making friends. I was talking to someone randomly, mentioned an anime, and 2 seconds later, the guy in front of me turned around and went, "Wait, did you just say My Hero Academia? And congratulations, I made my first friend," because he just butted into the conversation, not caring how it sounded. And I still talk to him now. So that was really fun. And actually, our cert mentor at the time for my first year, she invited us. I think it was called One Up Gaming, something like that. It was a gaming event at the university, and being game students, an obvious event, and we just got to have fun in a really relaxed environment, playing games, having a few drinks, and meeting up like that. We started talking about some serious things like who's going to go for course rep and the like, and I had about 5 people already going, okay, Katia, we'll vote for you. I'm like, okay, hello, new people. You can also, but aside from your course, there's loads to sign up for. Like that event I mentioned, that wasn't my course specifically. It was just appropriate for all of us. There's loads to sign up for. The Freshers' Fair is huge. You'll find so many opportunities like societies and like. I remember going around and it's absolutely mental. It was kind of hard to get through because there's so much to do and I could sign up for music and the like. So yeah, just get involved with everything, and it kind of sets you up for the year if you go in fully ready to experience everything.
Conor and
Definitely.
Katja, you both mentioned things that I completely forgot happened, like the Freshers' Fair, like the Welcome Week website. Wow. 3 years does not seem like a long time, but Corona makes you age like 10 years.
There's a lot. There really is. I think, as everyone said, try and get involved as much as you can, but also, as I said earlier, don't be kind of concerned by the fact that you can't do every single thing. I tried my best over 4 years, a student with a placement year in NTU, to try and tick off literally everything and go, right, how can I get the most out of this experience and get as much value for money? And I can look and go, look, I've completed it. I've completed university life, and there's still things you miss out on. But find things you're passionate about, try your hand at something new, and you'll always find new friends along the way and new experiences, new memories. So we'll move on now to a couple of campus-based questions. So this one is, does NTU have a big campus compared to other unis? So for me, as a student, I studied at Clifton campus, which is a really nice kind of campus-based uni. It kind of keeps itself to itself in terms of, obviously, you have to travel there. Really good transport links, so you can get the bus there in about 15 minutes of a dedicated student bus. And there's also a night bus as well. So if you're ever coming back late at night after working or a night out, there's a bus that runs till 3:15 in the morning, so you can get home safe. And the student union run an emergency taxi scheme, so there's always ways to get home. It's home to NTU Sport as well, so there's a massive gym, multiple football pitches and rugby pitches, the tennis centre, hockey pitches, sports halls, loads of different things. So if you're into your sport and you study on Brackenhurst or City campus, Clifton is very much the one to go to, where we play Bucks Wednesday, so all of our Wednesday sport. There's loads to get involved with. Obviously, Brackenhurst campus as well is kind of more animal-based courses, really picturesque, beautiful campus. Highly recommend many students kind of study on Clifton or City, that get yourself out to Brackenhurst on the bus, go out with some friends. It's great for a picnic, a barbecue, whatever it may be. And then City campus, as people have said, you'd have seen, I'm sure, on prospectus, the Newton building, Arkwright, a fantastic space with so many different things on offer, whether that be social space, studying space, teaching and learning. It really is kind of got something to offer for everyone. So obviously, I've kind of touched on a few bits there, and I appreciate I've pretty covered most of it. But is there anything anyone else in their experiences of kind of coming to NTU? And I know, Shivaj, you talked about kind of coming from a smaller town and then coming to a big city. Did you find that being kind of a nice change of the NTU being such a big city campus?
Absolutely, yeah. One thing you realize about, of course, the contrast is being a city campus, you'll think it's a lot smaller. But once you become like an experienced student at NTU, you realize that like there's many different places that you can go. Like at first I would be like, oh yeah, I need to study, I'll just go to the library. But everyone goes to the library. There's so many different places that you can just go and study or hang out with friends. It doesn't have to be the library, or even the Newton building. You know, you can go to shops, cafes, and even some of the less well-known NTU buildings on city campus. You can go there and just study. There's always places to study on the city campus, I've found.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's kind of some of the fun. As you go through university, you find spots that maybe in your first year you wouldn't know about, and kind of when you get to your second or third year, you and your friends go, actually, well, we know this little spot where maybe there's a bit of study space with a kitchen, or there's better access to the printers, and kind of you find your own little spots where you know where to go. So we'll move on to our next question now, which is another campus-based question, and it's how easy is it to travel between campuses? So obviously we've got people mostly city-based, but anyone got the experiences of traveling between different campuses?
I've been to Clifton, and the great thing about Clifton is there's a tram and there's buses. So generally Nottingham as a city, whether it be traveling between the campuses or going to different parts of Nottingham, it's so easy because the transport system here is so great. And there's an app for the buses, there's an app for the trams, there's basically an app for everything now. So even if you don't know how to get somewhere, don't use Google Maps. That will just confuse you. Use the apps that the council has for them. So I've been able to get to Gedling, to Sherwood, to Mapley, even to Mansfield, Clifton as well. I haven't been to Brackenhurst. I might do that before I move out. But yeah, generally it's so easy to get between campuses and so easy to get between different towns within Nottingham itself.
Definitely. Any other thoughts from anyone on travelling between campuses?
This is quite a recent one, I think, but I think in Nottingham now you can get on one of those electric scooters. And aside from, generally people that don't use them properly, they're actually really nice to just use around and get to places. Like I said, like getting to Sherwood, getting to Radford, like is really quick. And as someone who I don't really like walking a lot, taking those and, there's an app, it's all contactless, you just put in your debit card details, you just zip across from one side of the city to another. It honestly makes things really convenient.
Definitely, yeah. I must say, someone who's used the e-scooters before, really handy way. I use them to get home from work sometimes. And I think just on the buses as well. So one of the things the university do in partnership with the student union is offer a subsidised bus service. So if you are living on city campus and you study at Clifton or vice versa, some of my friends did in first year, there's a really well subsidised bus fare, so you can get a cheaper bus pass. And that can be really useful if you want to go to somewhere like Woollerton Hall and travel out to Sherwood and different places, everyone said on the call. So there's loads of different options. So just one more campus-based question. What would you say your favourite area of campus is? So if there's like a little hideaway that maybe you feel like that's the spot you'd go to study or relax.
This isn't more about studying, but city campus, if you're on it, then you definitely go to Gooseberry Bush. I don't know about you guys, but that is the spot to go to, especially in the summer. You just sat outside. I love it. I'm so upset I'm leaving because of Gooseberry. Like, it's such a great place. But in terms of studying, I love the Landing. Just the SU in general, such a great place to study. But Newton, if you go into the top floors and the sun hitting in, that's unmatched to me.
Definitely. Anyone else got any favourite spots on campus?
Yeah, I think the Boots Library has like a roof garden thing that you can go on. I think it's been closed for the past year because of COVID and stuff. But I remember that was like quite an enjoyable thing whenever if I'd be working like part-time and I'd have like a break and, I could just go up there and the weather's nice. You just kind of chill over there. In terms of studying, I found like the Dryden building, which is near the library. It's like one of those buildings that not a lot of people know about because it looks like quite a boring building, but like from the inside, it's like quite nice. There's computers everywhere. There's rooms and stuff. So generally, if I have like a group project that I need to do with my team, that's where I'll be going because, it's quiet. There aren't a lot of people. You can actually just go there and get some actual work done.
Amazing. Katia, anything from you?
You stole my answer. I was going to say the Boots, the Boots roof garden.
It's
yeah.
popular.
Yeah, no, it's a really lovely space, and I didn't even know for a moment it existed until I was panicking 24 hours before deadline, and my friend dragged me up like, okay, use your laptop here, please relax. It is a lovely space to work in. I'd say the music building's also really nice if you had plans to go in there. Hopefully graduations will be normal again. They will be by the time the people watching this graduate. The graduation takes place in there, but just have a walk around. Even if you don't want to join an ensemble, they have some really nice rehearsal spaces I've used a couple of times, which you can just book out for yourself.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And I think for me as a Clifton student, the Pavilion building on Clifton campus is brilliant. So it's the showcase building as you walk through the middle of campus. Was recently redeveloped a few years ago, won a few awards. And if you go upstairs, really nice quiet study space, some of those places that as has been said, not many people know about it, but it's got kind of everything you want. It's nice and light and airy, loads of power sockets, water fountain, hidden out the way, big sofas so you can go and sit with your friends. Maybe if it's a Saturday, put the football on while you're meant to be doing work. But loads of great kind of hidden spots around the Pavilion building. So we'll move on to our next question, and a few of you have already touched on it. But what part-time jobs are available at uni? So kind of anything you've been involved in or friends. So, Nor, we'll start with you.
Most of the jobs I've done with uni have actually been with applicant engagement and admissions. So with jobs at university, I've been signed up with uni temps, and every job that comes through with the uni, it comes through straight to my email, and I can just sign up through there. And the great thing about uni jobs is that they're so flexible around your schedule, around your timetable. So you don't feel stressed out that, oh gosh, this timetabling won't work with my shifts or any of that. And the pay is really good. So I've really enjoyed for the past 2 years working with admissions and applicant engagement. I've done clearing. I'm currently working with them now, actually. So yeah, the jobs really vary with the university, but I've mostly stuck with one department just because I've enjoyed it and I got to know the people there. So it's just kind of stayed all throughout.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Shivam?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never really bothered getting part-time jobs outside of uni temps. Like Noel said, it's really easy. It's really flexible around your university schedule. I've worked through multiple departments. I know I was cleaning tables in the canteen on the city campus. I was also working with the surveying department. If you sign up to the uni temps emails, the university regularly, almost every week, they'll be putting up jobs, and it's simply just, it's a very first come first serve basis. But you find the email, you click the link, and it's like a very short application form. There's like a few questions on there, and they get back to you in a few days, and then you're earning money. I did that for pretty much all 3 years I was here at university.
Amazing. And Katia?
I've had a few jobs through the university. I've been a student ambassador at Confetti Campus, as well as for the music department as a one-off. I was, as I mentioned earlier, I was a student mentor, so helping out the first years getting settled in. That's a really nice one. I was also an usher for the music building, because the new music building opened only 2 years ago. It's really lovely. They had some of the people taking part in the extracurricular join in as ushers. Obviously, that went away in COVID, unfortunately. And I've also been helping out on the UniBuddy platform, so that prospective students can just hop onto UniBuddy, look for a student in the subject area they're looking for, or maybe they come from the same country. The first person I ever had, not the same subject, she was just Bulgarian, and I think she saw that I speak Bulgarian. So yeah, I've been doing that, talking to students as well. So this was all through the university. That's like 4 or 5 jobs there I've done over the 3 years.
Amazing. Thank you very much, all. But yeah, as I've all said, I use Unitemps a lot as a student myself. Really good opportunities, whether it be cert mentor and student ambassador in, and obviously the student union as well. So we offer jobs in our shop, bar, retail, entertainment. That's something I did as well. I think one of the really good things about working for the student union and the university is they obviously treat you really well. The rate of pay is really good, and they're really flexible. They appreciate the fact you're a student, and they know that sometimes maybe you can work a lot of hours one week, but then the next week you may have exams and deadlines, and they can really work kind of around that and support you, whether it be with the development that you need or kind of just the support while you're going through those exams. So we'll move on to some accommodation-based questions now. And the first one is, what is student accommodation like at NTU? So I'll open the floor up, and if anyone wants to jump in.
I was at Norton Court, and so the way it worked for me because of clearing is I applied for accommodations, but of course, because it was clearing, I wouldn't have had my first choice. So I got Norton Court. You do have the option to apply for waiting lists at the other accommodations if you wanted to, because in the first week or two, there's a lot of changes and a lot of people decide they don't want to be there anymore. So you definitely do have a chance to go to your preferred choice. But with Norton Court, for me, I got one of the newly refurbished flats. I was in block 1, flat 1, room 1. So it was that was a great first thing to get to, and that was the best experience, I would say. Don't want to be biased, but I think Norton Court is the best accommodation at NTU. You can test me on that, but in terms of the security there, the staff there, the cleaning there, the students there, and not to mention there was an Aldi across the road, which is a student stream, and B&M. So to me, Norton Court was great. And I think the flats, I'm pretty sure this is with all NTU accommodation, but the flats get cleaned once a week. Other than that, you have to make sure you're taking care of your communal areas. And sometimes Norton Court will, not even Norton Court, accommodations will host events or tell you about events that are happening. When the freshest team will pass by, they'll come pick you up on the buses. I don't know if that'll be the same, but that's what happened with us. So all in all, I would genuinely recommend going to accommodation in with NTU in your first year rather than going private, because it adds to the experience and to meeting people, whether it be on your course or not. Usually the first people you meet at accommodation are the people that stay with you for the duration of your time here at NTU.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Cool. Any other kind of thoughts or feedback from anyone else?
Yeah, I had a completely contrasting experience to this. I was late on my application for accommodation, so it all actually ran out, all of my spots, and the ones that were available were a little bit further away. Fortunately, though, the university actually partners up with private accommodations a lot in the city. There's many of them available, and essentially, you know, they were able to give me the number, and I was able to organize it quite simply with the private accommodations. You know, I stated my preferences. You know, I wanted to stay with first years. I wanted to stay with, you know, people doing, you know, in first year. And yeah, they were able to figure that out for me. And then I essentially had the same experience because I was still like, you know, less than 2 minutes from the campus. It was fine for me.
Amazing. Katia, anything from yourself?
This is probably the time to mention that I lived at home, being from Nottingham, to save on money. Though a part of me does kind of wish I'd at least tried accommodation. I've heard good and bad things, but it's part of the experience. I might consider it for masters. We'll see. One thing I do want to mention, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but I know when I was a mentor, it was mentioned that if you apply as a student in first year, the university promises to find you accommodation. If I'm wrong, correct me on that, but I do remember being told this about when I was a mentor. So, and even if I'm wrong about that, I know that they do help you find accommodation even if they can't provide it themselves. So if you're worried about all the accommodation being gone by clearing, just speak to someone, because I know there's support for that, even if I'm wrong about the promise.
Cool. So we'll move on to our next question, which is around societies and sports clubs. So as a student myself, I was heavily involved in a few different societies and sports clubs. So I was captain of the futsal team. I was involved in Fly FM, now known as Fly Live, the student radio society here at NTSU. So is there any societies and sports clubs you've been involved in? And then I can talk a little bit at the end around kind of how you can join and get involved. But kind of, I know, Nor, you mentioned being involved in some societies as well earlier on in the event.
I was general secretary with the Arab Society, and then in this final year, I was vice president for around 6 months. And the great thing about societies that are culture related is you don't have to be from that culture, but if you enjoy it, if you like it, if you're curious about it, you can join us. You can, you know, get to know more about it. It's food, it's dance, all of that. So the Arab Society, it was full of just different Arabs and non-Arabs, and we put on events such as tours for new students, whether it be to the castle, around Robin Hood, or to the museum. We had those events, or we had events that were more culture focused, or we would let students know about other events that are ongoing at the university or on other opportunities going on at the university. Society events are honestly the most memorable thing for me because you just meet new people, you remain friends with those people, and all in all, you just really enjoy your time. The only thing I do regret is not joining any sports clubs. I was very hesitant at the start, even though I know that the university provides a lot of support with regards to funding and the prices on sports clubs, but I didn't end up doing it. And then second year came around and it just came out of my head. So I do regret that. I would say even if you don't have a sport in mind, or if you don't do a sport outside of uni, just get to know a sport. University is the best time to do that.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Anyone else like to talk about their experience with societies or sports clubs?
Yeah, I joined quite a few societies, but generally, I think the point for me was to just try like different things that I'd never done before. For example, I went to the canoeing society taster session, and it was all going fantastic and great until I realized I was doing this in September, and when my boat eventually capsized, it was so freezing cold that I decided this wasn't for me. But that's fine. I also tried other things. I was part of the Hindu Society for a while. And I also decided to do something else that was different. I decided to join the shooting society. So that was quite an interesting experience for me. But yeah, generally, there's like a lot of societies, especially sports societies, regardless of your skill level. I played badminton and I thought I was great until I went to the actual selections. I realized I was nowhere near as good. But they also do play for fun sessions. So there's a bit of everything for everyone when it comes to sports societies.
Amazing. Katya, anything from yourself?
I think I remember signing up to about 10 societies on Freshers and not doing most of them. I did Anime Society briefly. That was really fun. It was just really chill, relax. You go, well, watch anime and hopefully make some new friends. They also had a trip organized to, I think it was Birmingham MCM, which is really nice. As a cosplayer, that was something I was excited about. I don't know if it counts as societies doing the 3 music groups. I was doing concert band, choir, and chamber choir. It's still an extracurricular event, which is why I mention it. And the concert band's for anyone who plays a relevant instrument, or the choir is open to everyone. Chamber choir is audition though, but that's the one we get trips for occasionally.
Amazing. So I said I'd kind of say at the end about how to join. So for societies, if you're thinking of applying to NTU and you want to have a look in advance, if you should go to trentstudents.org, and then on our drop-down menu, there's an option of all the societies we have. There's over 150, and it's very cliche of me to say, but there really is something for everyone. If there's not, you can find 5 like-minded friends. You can start your own one. So if there's one you feel is missing, or you want to restart a society, and then similarly for sports clubs as well, it's just NTU Sport / clubs. And it's really important to say with NTU Sport and with the Student Union, there's a lot of financial support available. So I touched on myself as a student. I was in the futsal team. Because I was from a low socioeconomic background, I was in receipt of an NTU bursary, and that meant I got a cheaper sports membership and sports kit. So obviously it's worth just checking with student support and student finance in advance of that, you get that support. But there is options there for students who need it most. And then with NTSU societies, they're really cheap. So most society memberships are around £5–10, and you get access to everything that offers, whether that be events, trips, taster sessions. And then the final thing to say on sports clubs and societies is Freshers Fair. So they'll be running in September. They really are one of the best things you can do. There'll be quite literally hundreds of stalls. There'll be societies, sports clubs, Domino's giving out free pizza, I'm sure, loads of different brands and kind of events in Nottingham, all there. Go up to people. They'll all be staffed by fellow students. Ask some questions. I want to join judo. I want to join boxing. I want to join this society, this sport club, whatever it may be. They can answer your questions, give you some information about a trial or a taster, and you can get involved. And if you give it a go and you don't like it, you can find something else for you, and there is plenty out there. So we'll move on now to one of our questions that's come in the chat, and it's from Jackie, who said, if you're in Goldsmith Court, will you be included in the Freshers activity? So I can take this one. So in my role as president, I'm the lead on all of the Freshers activity that we do as a student union. And one of the things we have is the Freshers team, as I've already touched on. So any new students living in Goldsmith Court, the Freshers team will be there in their bright coloured polos. They'll come up, they'll support you, they'll help move you in. And then for the whole 10 nights of Freshers Week, they'll help make sure that you get on the nights out. They'll take you there, make sure you get back safely, put you on free buses. There'll be loads of support available. And then they'll also be able to help guide you to the best events and make sure you go to everything that the Student Union offers and the university. And it's worth saying as well, if anyone's watching, when it comes to Fresher events, do make sure you get official Freshers tickets. So if you go to trentfreshers.org, the past Student Union have available, and they're for the official events, make sure they're safe. We have all the support in place, and the Freshers team are there to make sure that you're supported and guided and taken through all the correct procedures and given the best time. So we'll go to another question now, I believe, from the chat, which is around bus passes. So we've had one. Does the subsidised student bus pass cover up to Sutton and Ansfield, which is NG17? So yes, it does. So one of the things with the subsidised student bus pass, because of Brackenhurst and it being a little bit further afield in Nottinghamshire, is that any person who gets a subsidised student bus pass, they can use that to travel anywhere in Nottingham. So, for example, as a student myself, I travelled to Woollerton Park. You could go to various different places in Nottingham. Colwick Park's a really popular place for students when the weather's warm. There's loads of different ones you can do and get involved with. Cool. So we'll go with another one from the chat, which is around opportunities for postgraduates. So David Cook has asked, are there the same opportunities for postgraduates? So yes, David, there is indeed. So with societies, for example, any undergrad or postgraduate student gets access to the same society. So if you as a postgrad wanted to join the music society, you could, and you would be meeting people like Katia, who are other undergrad students. There's no barriers in place. So as a postgrad, you get access to all the same sports clubs, all the same societies, and all the same opportunities that an undergraduate student would. And if you do want some kind of postgraduate specific support, as a student union, we have a postgraduate officer who does put on some specific postgrad events. So if you do want to just network and meet other postgraduates, you can, but all the opportunities that we spoke about this afternoon are available to postgraduates as well. Cool. So we'll move on to our next question, which is, can I access the libraries on all campuses or just where I'm based? For example, if I study at Clifton. So would anyone like to take this question?
I'm pretty sure you can, but I was lazy, so I stuck with Boots Library and I only went there just because it's literally down the road from me. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Yes, so you definitely can. So one of the things is, as I've touched on the different campuses, if you wanted to go over to Brackenhurst for the day for a change of scenery to study, you can use the library there, just tap the student card. The same for Clifton, the same for City, and the same for Confetti. If you want to go and check out the different campuses and the buildings and use those facilities, you can. So for example, if you've got a gym membership and you live on City campus, you can go and use the sport facilities at Clifton and vice versa. So once you've got access to one campus, you've got the same to them all. So you definitely can. So we'll go to the next one, which is, what are your tips for making friends? So I'll open the floor up for this one.
I know it sounds just really basic, but just be brave. As I said earlier, someone just overheard me talking about a show I'd seen and interrupted the conversation. Go, wait, did I hear that correctly? So yeah, I know it can be a bit nerve-wracking talking to new people. As I mentioned earlier, I struggle sometimes, at least if I'm not with someone I already know. But that's part of what the Welcome Week's there for. You could always just walk up to a student mentor and just say, hey, I kind of want to make friends, but I don't really know how to start a conversation, and they can help you out with that. Speaking as someone who got a lot of help from her student mentor and then ended up following in her footsteps. So yeah, just almost everyone there will be new. There'll be very few people who already know each other, even if it seems like they're just chatting away. They've probably met each other about 10 minutes prior. So just join the conversation, essentially, if it seems appropriate.
Amazing. Thanks, Katia. Anyone else?
I think the great thing about university is the stories that you get to tell later on with how you met so-and-so and how you got to know so-and-so. I know I have plenty of those, and it's just really nice to reminisce on them. It doesn't have to be your usual, I walked up to her and asked her this and this, or I walked up to him or them. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be in any situation, in any scenario possible. But I would definitely say is, if you know what your interests are and if you know what your hobbies are, all of that, then make sure you're going to the events and to the societies and to the places that host those. There is nothing that isn't available in Nottingham or in the university. So there definitely will be something that targets your interests and hobbies. So go there, you will definitely meet people who are like-minded or who like the same things, and that will start conversation. But I would say if it isn't you who's starting it, then someone will. There's always someone who will start one with you. And even if you look like you don't want to speak to someone, someone will come up to you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Shivan, anything from yourself?
Yeah, like I said, everyone tries really hard at the start of university to make friends. I think everyone has this idea that they're going to go through their entire year of university or even the rest of the years without making any friends. And that doesn't happen, right? Everyone's so super focused on making friends that people eventually just click. Whether or not you make it in the first week, you meet people in the first week and then you might never talk to them again. But the point is, you'll never be in another time where everyone has like the same aligned interest, which is to make friends. I think honestly, if you just keep a relaxed attitude, you'll be bound to make friends. It's really not that difficult.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And on that note, we'll bring today's event to a close. So what we'll say, thank you to everyone who posted their questions in the chat. If we didn't get round to asking your questions, we'll get back to you on social media, to keep an eye out for that. And obviously, if you've got any questions in the meantime, you can get in touch with us on social media or on the clearing hotline, which is coming across the screen now, which is 01115 848 6000. And if you want to as well, you can also book a clearing campus tour to safely see the buildings and spaces we have across all 3 campuses. And you'll be getting a feel for what life as a student is. Obviously, you've heard our students speak today and talk a little about their experience, but by coming onto campus yourself, you'll get a real physical feel for what it is to be a student at NTU, and some of the places that we've talked about today, you'll be able to see in person and get that feel for life as a student. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to ntu.ac.uk/clearing to find out more. And I'd just like to thank the students who've joined us today for sharing their experiences. It's been really helpful and enjoyable for me to kind of hear your experiences over the 3 years you've had at NTU. Thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.